All right, serious and cylinders bodybuilding. We are here and we're going to be talking about Mike VanWyck and Jeff. What the hell's his name?
Nippard.
Nippard.
Jeff Nippard.
Yeah.
But before that, I want to give a special thank you to these two gentlemen, Coach Rich and Kenton from EP09. Coach Rich's YouTube channel is RF2. I got that right?
R2F.
R2F Mindset. It will be in the description area once we're done here today. R2F Mindset. The Instagram is in the description area right now, and Kenson's YouTube channel is in the description area. And thank you, gentlemen, for taking this on such short notice. But it's like chaos in the world, like chaos. And before we get started, I gotta plug my sponsor, so I fucking get paid. All right, first one, Beer League Warriors apparel. I'm wearing the shirt. Okay, great shirt. It's one of those dry fit shirts. Support small business. Don't buy from Nike or Adidas this week. Go get yourself one of these shirts or a couple of them. They make great gifts, great workout apparel. BeerLeagueWarriors.com. Beer League Warriors apparel Instagram. Both links are in the description. The other one is Jersey Alternative Medicine, anti-aging hormone replacement. I actually went and got my blood work done from them. Actually,
Nice.
And I don't even want to tell you what my testosterone level is.
Oh, I could tell you mine.
Yeah.
It's. I didn't realize it was going to be that high. I really didn't.
Yours is high.
I didn't realize it was going to be that high. I thought. And my testosterone, I don't do much.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do, like literally, I've been doing 250 milligrams a week, right? Which is it's a little bit more than a TRT, but it's not really a cycle, right?
Okay.
Because I don't really use a lot of gear anymore.
Right.
But my test level was 1990, and I was like, God damn, like what the fuck? He's like, yeah, some people just react better to it than others. You probably have some potent stuff. It's really good, whatever the case may be. And I had to give blood because my red blood cell count was high.
Good.
And I got this from Jersey Alternative Medicine. That is NJALTMEDS.com. That link is also in the description area, and you can give them a call at 609-977-2981. They are nationwide under a supervision of a physician. All right. Oh, and please go buy I Prevail subs. My friend Jason Owens. I'm using his shaker cup right now.
Nice.
He's not a sponsor, just a friend. That link is in the description area too. I Prevail subs. All right. Well, it looks like we got a full house for serious and cylinders bodybuilding. Anyway. All right. Okay. Before we get started, the first Jeff ain't no snitch. I'm gonna push back a little on that one. I'm pretty sure he fucking called the cops. All right. Let's see. I would love for a bitch ass divorced dad to try some shit. Then I'll meet Jeff as a beta for not defending himself. All right. We'll get to.
We'll get into that. Yeah.
We'll get to every. You know, that's gonna be everybody's. That's gonna be everybody's response. All right. You got the reason why I contacted both of you guys are from Canada.
Yeah.
All right. So at this point, I think everybody knows the story. The story is Jess Nippard is an all-natural bodybuilder, all-natural powerlifter. I didn't know him until this. Everybody's going to know him now, that's for sure. And so he goes on, and he basically decides that he disagrees with Mike VanWyck. I didn't think it was disrespectful at all when I saw it. I really didn't. He actually said, you can listen to the big guys too, but I prefer science before bro science. I didn't think it was disrespectful. Apparently they go to the same gym, which is Pure Muscle in Canada, and Mike saw him and shoved him by the throat, apparently not once but twice, and we only saw the one from the video of the phone, but apparently there was surveillance video where he shoved him twice. The kid went to the hospital and called the police, and he turned himself in, and he was having charges pressed on him for assault. He is out on bail right now. All right. That's pretty much what we all know. Now it goes into, unless there is other facts that came out that I don't know of, now it's all opinion. And Rich, I want to give you the stage because first of all, you guys are both Canadian. You both know about Pure Muscle. Kenson was telling me that you guys are you guys train there. The guys that train there are pro bodybuilders and are really good stuff. So go ahead, Rich.
Well, yeah, it's been an exciting week. Shit has hit the fan, as they would say. But first off, I just want to say this. Pure Muscle Fitness is a gym where it's a community. It's you go in there, everyone's loved, appreciated. It has changed over the month or two, and that's just due to persona of people, how they act in recording and filming and all that stuff. Dorian, great person, gives his souls to everybody and is very honorable. Here's my point of view. From what I'm hearing on the inside, so Jeff was setting up, doing his recording, and Mike seen him, and Mike was training a client. So Mike sort of walked by, Mr. Funny Guy. And Jeff was just like, what'd you say? And Mike walked off. So Jeff was like, what'd you say?
Yeah, Jeff said he laughed or something, he chuckled.
Yeah, he chuckled. So then Mike, all of a sudden you feel he's crowding your space. Mike, you're like 6 feet, bro. This guy's like 5'6", 170, soaking wet.
Yeah.
Super nice guy. I've never met Jeff. Heard great things about him. But my point is, bro, that's a bitch move. You're 300 pounds. You go on your YouTube, you coach and you dissect training how it should be, and you make fun of other people or correct their form and techniques and saying this is how it should be done for great results and all that. Kudos. Do your thing. You coach or you trained a lot of the pros there, Antoine, Quinton. So that's how you got your platform, thanks to Dorian bringing you in. You were banned before that, but you got your way back in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was he banned for?
I don't know the full detail on it. I'm trying to find out some more into it, but he was banned from there before this all happened, way back. He came back in now, and now that you're Drake's one of Drake's security, you're building yourself up, blah blah blah. Cool, come in, train some of our pro bodybuilders. They gave you a great platform. Then you start thinking you're just a thug now, putting people down, where someone makes a critique of what you're saying, giving his values, not diminishing you, just saying his point of view, scientific. Respect to Jeff. There's nothing wrong with that. So what gives you the right to say, you want what? I don't like this. I'm going to speak my mind. You're entitled to that. But when you take it to that level, where I'm from, I'm not a gangster. I'm not a thug. I paid my dues. I made a lot of bad choices in life. No regrets. But like I said, if I was there, let me tell you, straight up, shit would have hit the fan. I don't support bullying.
Well, it seems like, Kenson, it seems like the biggest problem is there was another video where somebody called out Mike VanWyck at an expo.
Yes, I was going to talk about that. Yes,
that's the biggest problem. And he didn't. The guy said, Mike said, if you want to go out and take care of this, let's go. And the guy said, let's go. And Mike didn't go. And the guy's
exactly.
like, oh, I thought we were going. Let's go. And he didn't go. He didn't move. And so and the guy was just as big as Mike. So it makes him look like a bully. Now, I've had Mike on my channel before. I not on this channel, on my old channel.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great interview. I had no problem with him. Was respectful, so on and so forth. He was cool. I like stayed in touch with him a little bit. It was never an issue. So just saying that, I never, I don't know him well. He's been on the show. Mm-hmm. But he appears like he knows who he can target and who he can't. And that is a typical bully characteristic trait. What do you think, Kenson?
This was a reaction from Mike that was, without a doubt, unwarranted.
Right.
If you're going to shove somebody in the middle of a public gym where you know that this person has millions of subscribers and they're there specifically filming, I heard that he actually told him to turn off the camera before this altercation took place, is what I heard.
Yeah, I heard that too.
But that didn't seem to stop him. So whatever compelled Mike to do this, there certainly could have been a better way to handle this. I mean, I would have rathered his reaction of, what happened at the Olympia. Because, look, Mike is not the first guy for somebody to call them out and then for them to walk away. Mm-hmm. Is it uncharacteristic of somebody that has essentially, looking at a guy like Mike, you would expect him to go outside. Well, He didn't. What you would not necessarily expect is for a guy like Mike to go after someone, again, the size of Jeff Nippard.
Yeah.
It was completely and totally uncalled for, in my opinion. And Mike, unfortunately, is going to have to, own this one, and he's going to pay the price for it. He's paying the price now, not just when it comes to social media, but legally, he's going to pay a price for this. It would seem.
Yes.
This will 100% affect his livelihood. It probably already has. In fact, I heard that he was actually training someone while this took place.
He was.
Yeah.
Exactly. The guy was in the middle of a set when it happened.
How unprofessional is that?
I don't understand that mindset.
Yeah. No, and neither do I. I've never been so compelled by or felt so threatened by someone that was frankly so much smaller than me that you would have to go to that point. So I'm still trying to figure out exactly what put Mike in that situation, because when you look at it at face value, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense
at all.
Why would you go after someone like this? So I think there's more to the story, but regardless of what there might be, further to that story, Mike way overreacted, and like I said, he's most definitely going to pay the price for it.
Yeah, 100%. I've never. Usually, when you're in the gym, and Greg Valentino said this today. I was on lunch and I was watching RX Muscle. He said usually when you're in the gym, if there's a fight or an altercation, it's in the heat of the moment. And he's 100% right, because I've been there. I've seen it.
Right.
That it's happened to me. I've seen it, so on and so forth. You're 100%, whatever stupid reason. It's usually some ridiculous, stupid reason, whatever. But it's in the heat of the moment. It's never something like this where somebody says something a few days back and you see him in the gym. Everything. I'm not a tough guy, gangster either. Okay, but there's a difference between knowing how to handle something, right?
100%.
Yeah. Yes.
If Mike had a reputation of flying off the handle, right? If he had a reputation of a short fuse, if he had the reputation of like he did fight everybody at the expo because he's a psycho, then I'd get it, right? Then I get it. But there's definitely a level of reason there, because he did not get physical at the expo at the Olympia, right? He didn't go outside.
He didn't.
No.
So
no.
I don't know what he planned to gain from this by throwing that kid to the floor.
Nothing to gain.
I don't get it. Like I had, and Mike is older, right? Was he in his 40s?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's mid 40s. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And this happened to me not long ago in the gym. There's a young guy, and usually when I'm in the gym, I kind of have my hood up. I usually wear hoods in the gym. I have my hood up, but I'm very nice. If people want to talk, I'm sociable. I'm not. I try not to be a douche. And there was this young kid feeling himself, and they always say hello to him or whatever. And he walked by me, and I went to like shake his hand, and he did one of these. He did one of these. Like make you flinch. So I didn't flinch. I just looked at him like he was like,
"What are you doing?
What's that all about?" Right? And so he laughed and he
flexing on me, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah, right. I was like, that's fucking weird, right? So I was just like, all right, I just let it go. And then there was a second time he did something, and the third time, this is all in like 3 different situations. But I didn't even think the second time I called him a dick. I don't even remember what he did. Something similar. I'm like, dude, what's your problem? What are you, some kind of douchebag or something? Whatever I said.
Yeah.
The third time, it's when I was like, all right. I actually said to him, this is the third time. There won't be a fourth time. I'm not going to say anything if there's a fourth time. All right. I'm giving you a warning. All right. And I was really serious.
Right.
He's like, all right. I can respect that. And that's what I mean by being able to handle something before it has to get to that next level.
That's my point.
Right. If you really didn't like what this kid said, just talk to him.
Pull him aside.
Call him outside. Pull him outside. Go outside. Say, hey, kid, can I talk to you? Guaranteed, a guy that big says to him, hey, kid, can I talk to you? and you have a little serious tone to you, immediately he's gonna be like, oh shit, right? He's gonna get, what's the problem here, right? What did I, but it's such a bad look on for Mike. It really looks like he is a bully, and
exactly it's a bully move. Like my motto is, I don't condone violence, but growing up, like I said, I fought with these. I've been shot at. I've been stabbed 7 times. I handle myself well. I'm not going to back down. But as I matured, you got to use this more.
Absolutely.
There's time and a place.
Yeah.
That wasn't a time. That wasn't the right place, because you're in an environment, someone's home that invited you in to do your work. You're not disrespecting the people around, your client, number one, and the owner. And there's cameras everywhere. What are you trying to obtain?
Right.
You're getting nothing.
It makes me think that, because legitimate tough guys don't act like that. They have a way about them. Legitimate tough. Good, Kenton. Well, all right. So this guy writes, why didn't VanWyck throw punch Kanevsky? That's Kanevsky. Now that wasn't. There was several guys that called him out, right?
Yeah, several guys. Kanevsky's guy goes around to people, what's your height and weight, blah blah blah. So that's when the confrontation started. So when he got to the booth with that other guy, the taller gentleman, where Mike goes, "Get the fuck out of here! I'll smash your face in." The guy was calm, like, "All right, let's go outside."
Right, that guy. Who was that guy?
He's an MMA fighter. He can fight. He can handle himself.
Oh my god! You see, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. See how calm
it's funny. I'll tell you one thing that went on there. When apparently when Mike was actually, did you guys see Antoine's video that he did?
Yep,
I saw a clip of it.
Yeah. Well, Morgan McDonald, he's been on my channel a number of times. I've also been on his podcast with Robin Strand, the Canadian Beef podcast. Mm-hmm. I actually didn't know Morgan and Mike not only had words, but Morgan is actually quite an accomplished martial artist before he was, 340 fucking pounds like he is now. So yeah, apparently so. Mike doesn't really seem to have a filter as to who he's going to, speak to in such a tone that may affect him in a negative manner, whether it be somebody pushing him or somebody. Maybe Jeff put him in this. I don't know what Jeff could have possibly said to him off camera to put him in this position. I mean, Jeff's just not that. Anybody that follows Jeff Nippard knows he doesn't have that personality. He just doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it. So whatever provoked Mike, it like I said, it still just does not make any sense to me why this reaction took place. It makes zero sense. There has to be more. There has to be more, or it could be like it is at face value. Mike is he flew off the handle, as maybe some would expect him to, and he had a rage, some sort of reaction based on being filled with rage, of which is what it looked like. It's almost an unbelievable situation. It's almost unbelievable that this took place.
I actually reached out to Joey Stacks. And I wanted him to come on the show. Actually, last week, because I was watching some of his videos, and I was like, "This guy's fucking nuts! I got to get him on the show."
It was a real deal.
I was like,
"That's right up your alley." Yeah.
And he actually messaged me back. He said that he was moving or something. He's going back to California, and he'll get when he's back, he'll get back to me. I don't know who he is. I just saw his videos, and I was like, "This guy's fucking burnt." I gotta. Anytime somebody looks legitimately crazy, I try to get him on the show.
And that's my point.
I know.
When you meet a guy, and Mike met the guy, he was yelling. Mike's yelling, and the guy was cool, calm, collective. Sure, let's go outside. Those are the ones who want to be with.
That's a legitimate tough guy, right? Yeah.
So then Mike is like,
"That's right."
All of a sudden your tone just changed. And speaking on your point, Kenton, when McDonald went up to Mike and says, "Hey, you got to go. No confrontation." Walked out. Where's your tough persona there? Where's your big man persona?
It makes him look so bad. I don't know if he's going to have to tread lightly now. He'll probably, like you said, this is going to hurt his career, because of his career. His career as a trainer, and if he doesn't
lightly, he is past that point of treading lightly. There's no treading lightly. How do you come back from something like this, man?
I don't know. He better apologize or something.
We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I get it.
I get it.
We're all human. But my point is this: you're acting as a professional. You're a security guard for Drake, and I know they're boys, they're goons. There's some bad boys, but security's job is to de-escalate, not to really cause emotion and confrontation and be all stuff. So you should have a mindset of, hey, this is not a right scene. Let's get him out of here. Where were that skill set? Come on,
that's the first thing when it comes to security. Look, I was a correctional officer back a number of years ago, and that's what they teach now is de-escalation. You have the ability to defend yourself and everything like that. Absolutely, you have the skills to do it. But those are last resorts. When anybody that studied use of force, the very last point on the use of force wheel is physical confrontation. You know, that's the last one.
And there's no need for that. Jeff doing physical, had his hands behind his back. I'm vulnerable, so you go and play that role. But that's a bitch move. That's a bitch move.
When I see, I have some. I'm not a big guy. I'm like 5'8". I'm about 200 pounds.
Come on, John. Come on.
You know,
we know.
I mean, I got some muscle on. Don't get me wrong, you know. but I'm like 5'8", about.
Yes, come on, buddy.
About 200 pounds. And when I see like little smaller guys or anything like that, it's actually I have the reverse feeling. Like I don't know how to say this. Like my attitude was always, you should protect the smaller, weaker guy.
100%. That's the motto.
Yeah.
Always protect the small and weak. That's like I said. I'm the type of guy. I made mistakes, but I'm a brother. I don't know you guys, but now that we're talking, if I see Kenton out somewhere and there's a confrontation, no hesitation. I'm in there.
Yeah,
that's just my mindset.
It's all right, but before we'll get the fool out. But the you know what's funny, Rich, you bring something up that's pretty funny. There's a lot of videos out there going. VanWyck beat up Jess Nippard, and I'm like, I don't see a beating there.
No,
I see a shove, an aggressive shove, but I don't see a beating. I don't see somebody getting beat up. The other thing is, and I'm not saying I know times are different, times have changed, right? Mm-hmm. But everybody now calls the police, and you know, and everybody calls the police, and I don't think I've ever called the police in my life on in anything, but I mean, obviously, if it's necessary, obviously, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's generational. You know, being 48 years old and coming from you know the neighborhood I grew up in Brooklyn, nobody called the police. You know, you kind of, and I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying this is right at all. No. I'm just saying that you were taught to handle it yourself.
That's it.
You know, now I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying anything like that. And I know we live in a different world. And I don't know how much different it would be if you take away the political correctness. Here's what I mean. You know, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, if somebody put hands on somebody and that guy called the police, he would have really looked that the little guy that called the police would have really looked like a real bitch.
Yep.
I'm not saying that not anymore. I'm not saying that that's the case anymore.
Times
have changed, but it was like, wow, you really called the cops because the guy shoved you? Really?
That's it.
Really? You called the cops because he shoved you? Like, and today that's normal. Now, here's the thing. I think in the world of being political correctness, people still think that. They just don't want to say it.
I can say that. Yeah, I agree.
What do you think, Kenton? Because I think, Kenton, you're the youngest one out of the bunch. What do you think?
No, I think, I mean, look, I'm not in these situations. I haven't been in situations like this in a very long time myself.
Right.
But yeah, I think that there's definitely more of a, there's more of a culture to call the police these days and press charges than there was back a number of years ago. Part of that could just be because the world, I think, may be more accessible now when it comes to, you know, the internet and social media and all that fun shit. There may have been pressure for individuals to press charges as well. I mean, being frank about it, right? I mean, what would it, and this is just it with this whole situation. There's a lot of questions. Like Jeff is the one that called the cops, I think. Is that right?
I'm pretty sure.
It was called. someone had called from the gym. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay, so somebody did,
and then
somebody did. Okay,
and then he got questioned.
And then Mike
okay.
I heard turned himself in. Is that
Yes, sir. Yeah, turned himself in. Yeah, because it got on TMZ. It got blown out of proportion. But did it really? At the end of the day, assault is assault. Like I said,
that's right.
I'm 51. I did my time. I did my shit. You got to grow up. He's 40.
Yeah.
And I know Mike from back in the days and guys who worked with him. When did you become a tough guy? You were never a tough guy.
Yeah.
And this is a good point too. The guy like going for the throat, dude. Like
yeah.
Well,
that's what this guy Dave. That's what Dave here just said. It was a strike to the throat. You know what, Dave? You're right. You're 100% right. It wasn't a shove.
You went for the jugular, like, come man. Of all the places that you could, of all the places you could have shoved a guy, man.
It could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. Yeah.
That's a death punch. That throat.
The thought process
to do that,
to go straight for the throat. That's some serious shit, you know.
Yeah. No, it could have been a lot worse. Yeah, you're right. Especially he's a big guy and he just, you know. But
that's my point. You're a big guy. What are you gonna say? Like, what are you gonna say? Words. I've been called this, the N-word, blah blah blah.
Oh,
blah.
Sure, yeah.
Life goes on.
If I went after everybody that said something terrible about me on my YouTube channel, oh my God, come on, man. I mean, you just gotta let it. You gotta have thick skin, man. You gotta. What I think.
And Mike should. Go.
There's a guy named Charleston White, and he said words hurt women and children. They shouldn't hurt men. He goes, I'm a grown ass man. I don't care what you say about me. I got things I have to do, and I have a family to feed. I'm going home.
That's it.
Look, and Mike should be used to this as well. Like when it comes to that thick skin. I mean, he's on one of the biggest podcasts in the world where he was, I mean, criticized many times just for his presence on there and the things that he said and the things that he puts out on his own social media. That skin should be thicker than most, man.
That's
you know,
right,
it should be thicker than most.
So
you know?
set him off. What could he possibly say that's really going to get you to the point to go off? You have a bad day. We all have bad days.
But it didn't even seem like it was rage.
That's my point. So
he didn't like go after him and like, you know what I mean? It didn't seem rage. It just seemed like here's this kid that said something. I'm gonna fucking teach him a lesson.
But you push him down twice,
right?
And then you go after his cameraman, like, bro,
right?
Come on,
what's
wrong with you?
Yeah, you're right. We only saw that one video. Yeah.
You push him down twice.
Yeah, that's right.
And here's my point now. Here's my point. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
Well, it's really unfortunate that this has taken place when it did as well. Like, look at what happened these last few days in the bodybuilding world. I mean, Matt Jansen having 4 clients drop. I mean, this has been, honestly, I looked at this. I did a video on Matt Jansen, the whole thing that went on there with the initial information that came out, and now this, and I'm just like, man, like, honestly, for me, part of it is, we've got shows coming up where legitimate bodybuilders are going to be competing in the first qualifiers for the not the first qualifier, but right after the Olympia. I really want to know who's going to be getting in shape, who's going to stay in shape, who's going to be competing at these shows.
That's right.
That's where bodybuilding is for me. And now this is what's taking precedence over. What I don't want to see is this stuff overshadow the important things in bodybuilding, which is what we are all here for at its core. Every single channel out there that's covering this at its core is for bodybuilding. This takes away from it. And that's one of the things that really bothers me about this.
I couldn't agree with you more, Kenton. I couldn't agree with you more. If you noticed, I really took my time putting this together. This was last minute because this came out yesterday or the day before that this happened?
Yesterday.
Yeah, whatever. And there were people jumping on it immediately. And I came home today and I'm like, do I want to do this? I'm like, fuck it, man. Let me do it because everybody else is jumping on it. I might as well fucking do it. And I just threw it together and called the 2 Canadian guys I know. But you're 100% right, man. Martin Fitzwater's doing Prague. He wants to qualify for next year's Olympia. Yep. I guarantee he wins Prague, and then you don't see him till next year because he wants to gun it for the Olympia.
Let's see how Rubio looks.
Yeah. Rilla's doing it,
Rubio is I'll believe it when I see it.
I agree.
Is it true that
These
Mike
are the-
lives in his mother's attic? Maybe all right. I don't. All right. Let's.
I'm not gonna.
I'm
not
not
playing.
gonna shit on
He's taking care of his mom.
VanWyck.
That's
The other thing I wanted to get to was
Mhm.
what Fuad said.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with what Fuad said.
Mhm.
I just wanted to did a video on it.
That's it. That's my point.
I would have probably talked to him privately, and I would have said, like, dude, you're my boy. We all fuck up. I'm not throwing you off the podcast, but man, what the fuck were you thinking? You know,
real boys check each other. That's how.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I like that. I wouldn't. I wouldn't just certain things. You just keep private, and I don't know. That was another move. I didn't.
Here's my question though. Now that incident happened, now speaking to Jeff's cousin, I'm not going to go into those sources, but legal action is going to be taken.
Right.
But the thing now is, if you sue Mike, you got to sue Pure because it happened in Pure Muscle's gym.
Oh, any lawyer will fucking jump 100%.
That's the issue.
100%.
Are you going to get hush money? Or are you
going to go? Mike doesn't have the money, but Pure Fitness fucking has insurance that we could sue. Guaranteed.
I feel bad because Dorian's a great guy. Dorian, like I said, this guy would give you his shirt off his back. That's how genuine Dorian is. He's done so much. He doesn't even talk about. People talk for him. Not so much he's done.
All right, so Rich, you're in Toronto, right? And Kenton, what part of Canada are you in?
Yeah, Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia. And where is Pure Fitness, and how far is it from you guys?
For me, it's 25 minutes from Burlington.
Oh, all right.
No. Man, for me, it's like 22 hours.
I was gonna say because it's like Canada's a big country, man.
Yeah, it's fair. I've been up near that area. Actually, I got invited up there just before the Toronto Pro, and I didn't end up too fucking busy. But no, it is a destination here for bodybuilding, fans and athletes, coaches. Like it really is the Canadian Mecca, aside from what the Mutant Boys have out on the West Coast. But really, Pure Muscle and Fitness has taken precedence in that regard. It's a fantastic gym from everything that I've heard, seen, it's spoken about.
Phenomenal.
Dorian has a top-notch world-class facility. And for that gym to have any bad press whatsoever over this would be one of the more unfortunate situations. Of course, Jeff getting assaulted is the most unfortunate, but that Dorian did nothing to deserve this. Nothing. The gym did nothing.
Right.
That's
you could have handled it outside. Yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes I don't know. The only thing I could equate it to, is, you ever you're driving and you're kind of not thinking, and you're like, I really have to make this left turn, but this car is coming too close. But fuck it, let me make the left turn anyway. And you're like, you almost get into an accident. You could have waited. It's just a stupid decision.
Well, that's it.
It's just what are you gonna do, man?
It's all those things coming out now. People who've gone there in the past saying people know how Mike is in the gym. He walks around. He's miserable. He just walks around. He's miserable. Like he's just don't come talk to me. I'm this. I'm here. You're here, bro. Check yourself.
Here's a good question. How does Canadian law treat a situation like this? Do you guys know?
Yeah. So what's going to happen now? He got charged 2 counts of assault.
Okay.
And I guarantee you one is aggravated or bodily harm. Serious charges, because I got charged with bodily harm. They don't take that lightly. It's like, and now to the throat, that's just bodily harm. So in Canadian law, like I said, you can do some time. Now the question is, they're going to look at your past, what you've done in the past. If you have a criminal record anywhere equates to that, and he had some charges before, and they say, well, you had some assault charges before, you're done.
Yeah, I don't.
So what they'll end up doing is probably what'll end up happening is they'll end up doing what's called a pre-sentence report. Mike will have to sit down with a parole officer, probation officer, whatever, and they'll gather information on his background. How he grew up. They'll ask him about family, friends, and then that person will reach out to these individuals to substantiate the information, and then that information will be presented before a judge if it goes to any kind of trial. There's a possible chance that this will be settled outside of going to that level as well, right? They may settle on charges, and Mike Mike will take a fine or probation or whatever it might be. The worst case scenario for him is that it does go to trial and it is the worst of the worst charges, and he can get the full extent of the law. And then he'll have to decide if he wants his lawyer to argue for him to either go to a provincial facility or a federal facility, where it could be, 2 years or 2 years plus a day will get you federal. Either way, it's a shitty decision to try to make, I don't know exactly what it's going to do. I don't know exactly what charges that he did get, so I don't know the full extent. But like you said, when it comes to assault, especially aggravated, that can be something where you do some decent time. Even if you only get sentenced to to your 2 years and you only serve a certain amount of time, you still have to be able to get to that point when you're actually behind bars too, right? And that's going way down the line here. I don't know what's going to happen to him, but that could be how it's handled here in Canada.
I'll tell you, man.
Sorry to interrupt. I guarantee you, and I'm not bragging. It's a shitty thing. Being in the system and talking to a lot of police officers, he's getting bodily harm charge as well. Yeah.
Yep. Then that's where it's a slippery slope. That's where you better have a good lawyer. Honestly, man.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but
yeah.
Look, I'm just gonna, I'll say this. Especially, even if you're a young man, okay, we give young guys do stupid things, so we kind of give them a pass. But even if you're a young man, but especially if you're an older man, over 35, over 30, really, try to avoid any kind of confrontation.
Agreed.
I mean, unless the person puts a hand on you, or a person puts a hand on your wife, or a family member, or it's self-defense, and I know it's not easy.
No.
When your manhood is tested, I know it's not easy to walk away. But because I've been in that situation too, where my manhood was tested, and I walked away, and you're like, God damn, I just wanted to fucking wreck that guy, right?
Yeah.
Because you just, especially as you get older and you acquire a life and you have a home and you have a career and you have a family and you have kids and you have assets, you just have too much to lose. You got too much to lose. So just walk away. This one was the worst. You want to hear it? This is actually funny, but this one was the worst one for me. This was Las Vegas. I want to say about maybe 5 years ago. I was on vacation, and I was we went in couples, and I was with my wife, and there was another couple, and we went to eat, and the girls wanted to go out afterwards, so we went to New York, because there's like a bar that's like happening. We're not really club people, right? Yeah. So we went to a bar, and it was crowded, so I was trying to get around to the other side of the bar, and there's this guy. He was facing the bar, so I put my hand on his back. I said, "Excuse me, bro, just trying to get through." And the guy turned around, right? And he pulled me toward him and tried to kiss me. I swear to God, dude. So he was obviously obliterated. He was drunk off his ass. Yeah. So I was like, before he got too close, I shoved him. I was like, yo, and I shoved him, and he almost fell. His back hit the bar. He was so drunk. Right? And then my wife immediately pushes me and goes, no fighting. And she pushes me away, right? Which is the perfect thing a woman should do. If you have one of those girls that escalates the situation, get rid of her. Yeah. So now I'm on the other side of the bar, and I'm like, this motherfucker tried to kiss me. And now I'm like thinking, man, I should have fucking, and I just, and then the best part was one of his friends. I'm on the other side of the bar. One of his friends looks at me and goes like this, almost like a gesture to apologize.
Yeah.
Okay, but I was like, the fact that the guy tried to kiss me, I was like, oh man, I wanted to fucking kill him. But it was like, you gotta walk away. You gotta walk away, because
you gotta have thicker skin.
Yeah, I mean, there's a time and place for everything. It's just too much to lose at our age.
What bothers me is his background, education in regards to security. Your number one rule is de-escalate. So what puts you to that level? That's where I'm upset.
Yeah.
Oh man, is this one of your friends, Rich? Black Cowboy Boo said we sound like a bunch of bitches.
I don't know who that guy is. Well, if we are, then what are you doing watching the channel? What does that mean?
Yeah. Can the court pull out? What is this? what is Kotex? Kotex? That's the what do you call it? What the girls use, right?
No, I don't know.
Here's one more question, and we'll call it quits. This guy, Dave, asks, could the court force VanWyck to stop taking anabolics and PEDs and force him to be drugged out? I don't.
They can. If you get convicted of anything, one of your party probation can be like no drugs in your system, check into piss once every week. There's so many things.
Yeah.
It just
you know what?
it depends.
And a couple of unless I'll tell you who's happy about this, Matt Jensen, because nobody's talking about him right now.
Right? Take the smoke off him. Crazy.
Fucking God.
But he's in trouble too, man. But then again, I don't know if he's in trouble. He sounds like he just isn't moving in a different direction. But that's a discussion for another time. I think in another day or two we're gonna be talking about bodybuilding again, and there's all this gossip's gonna go away.
Yeah,
I hope so, man. I really hope. Like, this is what I want to. I want to get past it. Like, it's terrible what happened. It's unbelievable what happened, and I do think that Mike should get his whatever he's going to get for this when it comes to the social media pressure or legally whatever it might be. Just. I want to get back to bodybuilding, man. I want to get back to bodybuilding. Yeah. I certainly recognize terrible situation, all of these things, but when it comes right down to it, the drama, bullshit stuff, like I want to get back to bodybuilding. I want the world to get back to bodybuilding.
Couldn't agree more, especially when I heard Martin Fitzwater is doing Prague. He's my new favorite, even though he blocked me on Instagram.
He's my new favorite. I met Martin at the Toronto Pro. And such a cool dude. And I remember coming up to him and said, bro, you're coming a long way. He's like, you look familiar. Like, no. I'm a classic pro, but you're going to do some damage. He turned to me and goes, my mind is right now. I'm going to fuck this world up.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, crazy.
Yeah. And this is the last comment, and then we'll go.
Yeah.
That's it, Black Cowboy Boogie. You've gone too far.
John's
triggered. The worst insult you could possibly give me.
Kick rocks, buddy.
Trump 2024, baby. You got it wrong. All right, fellas. Thank you very much for joining me. Please, much love and respect. Thank you for such short notice joining me on this. Like, share, subscribe. Go to Kenzen's EP09. It is a better channel than Nick Strength and Power. And you need a coach here in Canada, go to Coach Rich. His Instagram is in the description, and he also has a YouTube channel. It is called R2F Mindset. So please go and subscribe. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Until next time.
Peace.
Later, fellas.
Later, man.